All right, we are in the Rodeo Range Tournament. It is Monday's qualifying round in the rookie division. I'm my 77 account. I'm just going to play. I'm going to wait until I get towards the end. But I'm just going to go out there and play the round and see how it goes and make a determination on whether, like, if the round's going really good, then I might qualify today just so I got a good qualifying tiebreaker. But otherwise, I may bag it. I have no idea. I'm just going to play it. So we got hole number one twice because there was some issue with hole number one, which is kind of unfortunate because hole number one in this course is a cool hole. You can do a max overpower hook shot with a marlin and get on the green in one. And there are several ways to get on over there, but it's a great hole. But this hole here is also a good hole. And this hole right here is freaking tight. Go to Tommy's Americana. That's the hole we didn't get. What we get, is it 6? Yeah, this is the hole right here, I think. I think this is hole number 1. I think this is the hole we're playing twice. Trying to get through this little gap. I was on here earlier. I was on the phone with my buddy Richard. What up, Richard? I was on the phone until 2 o'clock in the morning his time. I came on here and I tried like looking at this shot around here, and I've seen people do it, but it is so freaking narrow to go from the second. It's just a narrow shot. If the green was out here where you had a little bit of room where you could work it, but it's pinched in. There is a shot over there, and I've seen people do it. There is a shot through the trees. I've seen people do that too, but like going through the neck, it's hard. It looks like here. Like you look at it here and it looks like no big deal. You just draw a straight line through the center fairway here and you're on the green. And you only got to get a little teeny bit of movement and you're like right there. Shit, that is a mile. A mile. And it's easy to overshoot this as well. It is. I'm gonna take a bigger power ball just for the second shot. Maybe. I think I'm right there on my red line. If I get to the right spot, I'm like in minimum short iron, and I may need to bring a katana. Let's bring a katana just for safety. And I'm going to take bag number 4. Bag number 4. I think it's 1.7 per ring at max. The Thor's Hammer. Oh, I got a rock. It's divided by 1. It's 3.1. 3.4 rings. I think it was only like 3 topspin, if I remember correctly. If you put on any more, you took the risk of roll. I mean, it is so close to the edge right there. .41 rings. Let's push that wind out. Let's push it. Okay, there's the 4-1. There's 1, 2, 3. Hitting it perfect. I can't believe I got that off in time. All that time, and then at the very end, clip and roll out. I hardly ever make it around that corner, like trying to get an angle to the cup without clipping in that corner. Hardly ever. What ball? I got a power 4 ball. Look at where their red line's at. I suppose if you brought a power 5 ball, you could get your red line up there close enough. But it's the arc between the first and the second bounce. Like that's pretty high. And if you start putting some curl on it on the backside, let's see if that curl, I think that curl might kill him right there on the edge of that tree. right there. Yeah. You didn't need that curl. That corner is tight. To try and get around it, it's like the green's right there. All right. I'm going to do a straight up wherever I'm at in my club, and I should be at minimum. There's min. 1.9. 3 divided by 1.9. 1.57 rings. I'm going to do 1/6. I'm going to put on one backspin. .57 rings, 1/6. There's 1/6. Isn't it perfect? See if it runs out. I was banking on it running out, and it did not run out. I think it was better there. I put that one backspin on, all of a sudden I had problems. It was better there when I had no spin on it at all. The ball guy, I think, was running really true. I should have put it back to 0 spin. Or you could put like a titch of top spin on it and move it back a little bit. There's some moguls from that angle coming in, and that bounce is hitting right there in those moguls. In 1 second it's on one side and 1 second it's on the other. And yes, sir. All right. That's what we got. That hole is definitely makeable, and we're gonna get to see that hole 10 times, Richard. 10 times. In the hole. All right. It is raining outside. It's wet. It's kind of stopped raining at this moment, but it's like that, still that rainy atmosphere. Everything's just waiting for it to rain again. The sun has not come out. In the hole. All right. Hole number two. Let's play it. Let's just play it. What hole do we got here? This par 3. I think I figured out something here. I was using a sniper, and I can't remember if I was having to bring out a big power ball just because. I'm going to bring out a katana just in case. But there's a shot up here, and it's like 3 side. I think it was either a katana or a kingmaker. It was like 3 backspin, 3 side spin, somewhere in that neighborhood. And it puts you like 3 rings off on the left-hand side. We'll see. 1.125 times 3.7 divided by, here's my minimum club, my maximum grizzly, divided by 0.9. I think that was 4 backspin right there. What is that? That's almost 4 backspin and 3 side spin. 4.62 rings. 4.62. Hitting it perfect. We'll see what kind of rollout that gets to the cup. There's a bowl down there. I didn't pull it enough. I didn't need to pull it much more though. I did a 12.5%, so like maybe 15% plus 0.1. Four backspin, 3 left side spin. I used a grizzly, a katana, a max club, 0.9 per ring. And I'm going to do, next time that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a 15% plus 0.1. to the cup. And we'll see how that works. In that first hole, I am convinced that the rock is the right club rock. I think with the katana, it makes it so that I can shoot it with a mid long iron. If I brought out a Kingmaker, I might be in between clubs or right at. It might be worth it to get up there into wedge. Kingmaker. It's either short iron or wedge. My opponent's going. I'm trying to make notes while I'm sitting here playing, so I have at least a baseline, so when I go back and watch the video, I'll have that I can be focused on where I was at and what the numbers were. Well, at least clubs. The first practice round, that's the whole deal, is you're trying to make sure you know what clubs you need to get into the right spot. And then when you get to that spot and you're like, because sometimes you'll get to that spot and you're like, well, shit, I brought the wrong ball, or hey, this spot sucks. Hole number three. Oh, we got a serious opportunity for Albie here, and with this wind, I really like, we do have a serious opportunity for Albie here. And you got to do so much overpower with a 3 power ball. What 5 power ball do I have the most of? I got most berserkers. Berserker. Let's practice it. Let's see if we can get over there with the. We'll take the A pocket. It doesn't give us as much side spin, but it gives us more curl. And I can't remember on the shot to the cup whether we take off a little or add on a little. I think we add on 10%. All right, let's go play it. Let's go play it. We want to be shooting for Albie. We want to put ourselves in the right spot. We're doing a layup shot on this drive, so whatever it takes to get us to the spot, the easiest, that's the shot we want to do, because we're laying it up, and we have a serious shot for Albie if we can get up into this zone up here. Nice, beautiful short iron shot. So we want to get up to the tip. I mean, you got that shot along that line, anywhere along that line, but the best shot is up there in your short iron. And a 3 power ball will work if you use the wind, like my opponent is, but they better put a lot of curl on it. All of the curl. Is that all the curl you got? I guarantee you're going to need all of the curl. You hit it on the inside, so that helped them if they can make the corner. And they didn't. But you can see in front of them, if they hadn't done that, if they hadn't hit it great, they were running into that sand. They didn't have enough curl on it. 1.1 times whatever the wind is, 5.1 divided by 1.5. All right, actually it should be 1.4. 4 rings. 4. Read them. I'm going to put it all on there and see if I can overshoot this. And I'm trying to cut this angle, but I want to separate myself from that tree, so I'm going to move it over a ring. I'm going to be 3 rings off that inside surface. 4 rings. And do max curl. Hitting it perfect. And see if I can, if that, like where that trajectory ends me up, cleared nicely down there. I wanted to be up high. Nice. I could take a little teeny bit of topspin off, just in case. But that is about as good as it fucking gets. That is it. Times the wind divided by wherever I'm at in my club, and that might be wedge. Nah, it's short iron. I'd have to be closer. It doesn't get any prettier. Well, I suppose if you were dead center in the middle of that, it might be prettier, but we're close, damn it. My opponent had to add the dreaded curl word into their shot. It had a shot though. They had it. Okay, I am in short iron. There's max, way the fuck up there, and there's min. So I'm at minimum short iron. So that's it's 2.1 per ring. I am gonna do one backspin. I'm gonna do two backspin. Get right up on it. 5.1 divided by 2.1 is 2.67, 2.7 rings. 2, 5, 6, 7. Hitting it perfect. Hitting it perfecto. In the hole. In the hole. That was 10% plus 0.1. Well, I rounded up. I didn't do the full plus 0.1. It was 2.67 and I rounded up to 2.7. We got to get that shot in our bailiwick. We at least have to give ourselves a shot at it. And I will tell you, when I was talking to my buddy Richard earlier today. Let's go in here and look. I can tell you right now. I can tell you what ball I'm going to use in the weekend round, regardless of the wind, because we're still shooting for that, even if it's a headwind. And I don't have any 5-power precision balls, so I may bring out that 4-power 3 precision, because I think I can work myself up there and get into the same area with the 4-power ball and come in there with some precision, because that is a money albatross shot, like money. Like, and I have several 4-power precision balls. I thought I had 1.5, but evidently I don't. Evidently I do not. What is the ball that's for sale this week? Have we got it yet? We haven't got it yet. We haven't. Do I have a club card trading? I think I already did it. I did. I'm hoping for a big topper. I only need 7 of them. And usually on the day I get big toppers in the store, I get big toppers in the club card trading. So I'd like to get 3 and then I'd buy 4 just so I could max it out. There's a couple holes in this tournament that... Hole number 4. All right, I found a spot. I found a spot on this hole. 1.15 times whatever the wind is. Is this hole number 4? Let's look at hole number 4. Is that, which hole is hole number 4? They got them all jacked up. Wasn't this hole? I think I'm going to hit off the island here. I think that's the way to go. And I'm going to do 15%. And I'm not so sure I shouldn't be doing more. I'm not so sure I shouldn't be doing like a 20. I'm going to do a 20. 20% times the wind wherever I'm at my club, and I think I need a 3 sides. I think in rookie and pro is really easy, like you're out in the middle. But if you wanted to be there in rookie, depending on the ball that you brought, like if you wanted to hit it with your sniper, you needed to bring out a Marlin so you had more room to work out wind. But like with this wind right here, if you wanted to play it with your long iron, you needed to bring out a really big ball in order to be able to pull out headwind. I think that's the way that this went. I'm gonna just take a Marlin. If you can't get it done with a Marlin, bring out a Titan. Come on. Come on. We're not making that jump. Come on. If we can find an opponent. If the big IF. Need to brush my teeth. Need some coffee. I need something to drink. Should have had to move inside. It was fucking cold outside. Which is good. We had no spring. It went right from winter right into summer. Then we had and then we're going right from summer right into winter. See if my opponent can get through those moguls. I'm not interested in doing those moguls at all. I'm either interested in getting way up here in the front. There is a rough bump, but I don't really like it. It's on a curve. And so you can hit it and it can get off way off trajectory. But you can hit it in front of that and backspin, or you can hit off the island. And the island's not my absolute preferred because it's at a slant. It's not my typical MO, but it's not bad. Let's just say that. Let's just say that and leave it there. But I am not hitting in those moguls like my opponent did. Fuck that. You catch the inside of one of those hills, you hit it great, or you catch it anything off, you make a bad wind adjustment, and you were going for a wild ride. Looks pretty flat out here, though. And there's my red line, just like I thought. I can be in the middle of that island. And the only thing hampering me is side spin. I'm going to put 4 and 1 on. Let's see if I have enough room. I do not. I have enough room to push it forward and get it up on it. I do. You can see how much it changes depending on where you're at. 4.4 divided by 1.2, 4.4 rings. Isn't it perfect? With 0 time on the clock, I'm sure. I'm sure of it. Man, how bad of an adjustment was that? That sand down there really screwed me up. I don't know that hitting off that island is the wise choice. The wise choice might be to just go off of the, just go straight at it. And bounce up in here and not try the rough bump. I really don't have any room to run any topspin here. I have a little. Make sure I'm coming out the back of the cup. Oh, 2 rings great to the right. 2 rings great to the right. I guess today is a practice round. I tanked hole number 1, so I did get the Albie on that one hole, but tanking hole number 1 and not getting the eagle there and the Albie, you really need both those holes. And the Albie hole was in a community cup one year, and I will tell you, that hole was a must get. Every hole in there was a must get for Albie, but that hole was definitely. What do we have here? This is the one going straight forward. And we have a favorable wind. This wind is dangerous as hell. Big topper. Power 3 ball. I'm just going to use a Titan. I don't think I need any big time stuff. Big time stuff here. I don't. I think if you brought out a big enough ball with this wind, you might be able to hit over to the other side. You might. Let's look. Because you could get a mile in a day, but I think you'd actually run out of fairway. Because you can't get over to the other side. That sand trap's in your way. And you're way at the end of your run, and there's no way you're going to carry enough speed to get over down at the bottom where all that rough's at. So the best you can get is the front of this fairway, and you can get to the front of this fairway by bouncing over and running topspin. The problem with tailwind like this is that it carries a mile down there where it lands the first landing zone, and you can overdrive it. I mean, I almost think the wind is like pushing it like 100%. My opponent's in a nice spot. Just a nice easy spot from right there, just straight up. And I'm not so sure that side doesn't. I thought in the past that side didn't give a good shot, but now I think that side does have a pretty decent look at it. Okay, you can see how far I am from there's the rough. I am a full ring set, which is, well, I'm a clear ring out, so I'm 8 miles per hour. 8. And I'm just going to leave the wind in. No overpower. And let's see how close I come. I think I'm gonna hit. Well, that side didn't necessarily hurt the shot, but damn. I did have a little bit of space. Look at that. I had like a ring, so maybe 2 miles an hour of that 8, so it doubled it up. It was like it literally was almost like like 100%. And it's doing the same thing on the headwind. Like the wind number itself hasn't gone up. It's still, 3.2 or 3.8 or whatever the hell that was, but how far it's carrying on those downhill or uphill shots or headwind shots is big. And I'm not so sure. Man, I did a shot straight up. Nice shot. Yeah, they got a nice run out from there that they didn't have in the past. When the hole was on the other side, when the pin was over in this area right here, they didn't have that run up. But I got a very similar deal. There's Max. There's Min. So I'm eking Max. It's 1.1 times 2.6 divided by 0.9. 3.2 rings. Yeah, I might be eking mid here. Where am I shooting here? No, I'm still max. .2 rings. I liked it better when I could make this and force a shootout. And I didn't make it on the grate to the right, unless the wind was wrong. That would have been so close and a perfect, and that was just 10% at club, rounding up. Oh, would have liked to have seen what that looked like. Damn it. Good job on my opponent's part, though, getting the albie. I think that side over there, in the past, you had to run up, and then you had to go up a hill at an angle, so it was side hill, and then get up on a flat, and the cup was very close to the edge, so as you rolled off the top to get onto the flat, you were already at the cup before your ball had a chance to stabilize, and so it was super hard to get your ball in the right trajectory from that angle. It was hard from the side that I hit to, but it was a little bit better. You could start off on the flat and try and avoid the whole hill face altogether. All right, hole number 6. What do we have? I do not want to qualify today, so let's make sure that happens. This is the hole again. At club. We're going to try at club today. And I think I can hit this with my number 2 bag, and I will bring a Titan. Two 5. There's 2 5. And I am going to ever so gently get fresh with the nub is on the right hand side. Isn't it perfect? Yeah, I was trying to miss that corner. Close. I should have got a little fresher. Damn it. Close. It's a run it up. This is not a bad hole to bring out a precision ball on, because if you do end up in that sand down there, I think the sand shot, you can run topspin if you use a Spitfire, and you can hit right through the trees, evidently. you can hit right through the trees. Because my opponent just did it. They're in the fucking catbird seat. They are. I gotta get up that hill. And from that distance, I'm right off the outside edge of the cup. I'm going to start hitting those sand shots from the right to the left instead of the left to the right, because I am not having any luck. So if I'm not going to have any luck, I might as well not have any luck. And sometimes when I do that, it'll jar me into getting into a rhythm. And I need to try and snap them off faster. I have more success when I snap shots off as opposed to letting it get into a rhythm, because I don't know if it's just me, but you tell me in the comments whether this happens to you. But it seems to me that when it's rolling through, like especially if you're letting it go through 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times, where you have lots of time and you're letting it go through, that you'll have some of them that'll roll to the right there, or roll to the left. See how it look like how deep it went to the left, and like maybe on one side it'll go a little deeper, so that means it'll swing back by just a little faster, and then the next time it'll go a little slower. And it just seems like it's not like, an absolute pendulum. But before it gets into that, you can snap it off, and then you don't get into that. Maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it is. What do we have here? What hole is this? This is the hole. I definitely figured something out on this hole. I definitely figured out a shot. I went out there and shot a scouting report with 77, so I kind of got a look at them. I kind of got an idea of where I want to get set up now, because before I didn't have any freaking clue whatsoever. I have no idea. It's got to be like a 15% to the cup. Maybe. Shit, we might be taking wind off. For all I know. It does seem like it's downhill to the landing spot, though. There's a spot I have found over here, right here in front of this sand trap, that if you're in this spot, you can get it coming up to the cup and right up along that ridge. But you can see how there's a ridge right here. So if you try and stay in the center and bring it along that, your ball guide's pushing up against it, and 3 side spin is like not enough. There is a rough bump that you can do from over there as well with Cataclysm if you bring the right ball. I do not like hitting on that hill face, because watch their first bounce. It's gonna go way up in the air and lose a bunch of its forward momentum. And they actually did get a little bit of a leap forward. Because normally if you hit on an area like that, that area is like this, and you're hitting right dead center, it gets a shot going up. Because I would swear in the past, like, that is the spot that I always hit from. Two top spin, 2 side spin, 2.2 at max, 2.53 rings, and I'm not sure I'm at max, but I'm going to do max, 2.53, 2.5. Hitting it perfect. And let's see what kind of bounce I get. I'm surprised that my opponent got a leap forward like that from that spot. Pretty close. A little bit too much topspin. Pretty close. That was with 15%. 15% at max. 2.2 wind. Close. And I had it wedged up there so that I was with my sniper where my white ring was off on the rough on the right and the rough on the left. I was wedged in. All right, I guess that's the deal. You can still, that spot seems like it's higher up. It used to be lower. Used to be farther down by the sand. Now you're way up in the in the middle of the hill. There must be a flat area up there where it tears as it goes up that hill. It's a draw. We know what that hole looks like. We know what the deal is. We know the deal. 15%. What hole was that? That was hole number 7. Let's make sure we write that down. 15% plus 15 to come. I had a sniper. What was I using for a ball? See if I was using a 3 power ball or a 2 power ball. I think I was using a Titan. I had a sniper and a Titan, and I did a max adjustment. Do a max adjustment. Max. 1 per. And I had a Titan. The king of balls. Hole number 7. All right. I got some notes written down for that. I'll have to go back and watch the video on the other ones. This one right here, we need to get on 1. Whatever we need to do. Now, I will tell you that with the 3 power ball, I think with this wind, you can do it. And with a 5 power ball, you could do it in any wind. You can pull back from the red line, I think, with a 5 power ball and set it up. But I think a 4 power ball is like the best of both worlds. Like, you can set it up so that if there's headwind, you can work the wind out. And if there's tailwind, you can work the wind out, and you can work it out whichever way you want. And I think I normally prefer, I'm going to do a 20% adjustment times the wind. Man, we really need to hit this one perfect. If you had a bunch of precision balls, this is definitely one to bring them on, because you definitely want to hit it perfect. Definitely. I was looking at those balls and thinking, yeah, I would definitely like to take one. Definitely. Kmart sucks. 444. Let's bring out that 444. I think that'll be perfect. Perfecto. And I'm going to play this with my APOC. My number 5 bag. Now, I'm not so sure. Let me think about this. I'm not so sure my number 4 bag might not be better, because it has more ball guide, top spins, more top spin. It doesn't hit quite as far, but I did bring out a 4 power ball. And I think it's at 1.6 per ring with a 4 power ball, and that is my Thor's hammer bag. Don't make me bring out the Thor's hammer. 2 divided by 1.6. .5, 2.62 rings. I can run all of the top spin, as much side spin as I can get on. I'm going to run 1 less than max. I can just hit it up on the green. Just hit it right there. 2.62 rings. 2.62. Hitting it perfect. Let's see how that responds. Let's see if our bounces. That was a 20% adjustment on the drive. Bounce number 1's fine. Bounce number 2's fine. Bounce number 3's fine. Right, like it said it was going to go. Rolls back on the green. It looked like it was going to scoot, but I could do just a little teeny bit less top spin. The other thing I could do is I could run all the top spin on it and then pull it back a little from the red line. Well, I was trying to get the side spin on, the 2 side spin. My original plan was to run all the top spin so that I could pull back from the red line a little, and I didn't. I was right at the red line. So if we had a headwind day, you'd have to do a little bit of overpower in order to compensate. And I would say a little bit of curl, because where I came in right there, in the worst case scenario, if I curled it over to this spot and I hit the rough, I would bleed out right onto the green, right along the path with the cup. You wouldn't want to over curl it and get it into that sand trap. Another good reason to bring a Thor's hammer if you have one, that's because it doesn't have a lot of curl. Alright, that's how you do that hole. Now I could save my opponent right here. I could. Damn, I gotta save. Man, I really don't want to save my opponent right here because I don't want to take any risks of qualifying, but my opponent might be qualifying today and I just saved them. I got them at least the eagle, or at least a birdie. Try to be a nice guy. Try to be a nice guy. See what happens. I ran out a 4-power ball right there. A 5-power ball on headwind days. And it was one less than max topspin at the red line. All right. And what did I do? I did plus 20 on the drive, plus 20 on the drive. APOC. No, Thor's hammer. Sorry about that. Thor's hammer. Hey, my pen quit working. To write Thor's hammer. I called it an APOC and then I corrected myself and then my pen quit working. Jeez. Alright. As long as I do not qualify today. So as long as I don't score anything here. So no matter what I do. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to take the shot from distance, but if I don't make it, I'm going to make sure I forfeit or do something and get a par. But I do have to kind of go for the shot from distance. Alright, what do we got on hole number 9? Man, I am not laying off on this hole. And that wind right there is like beautiful. So I am not laying off on this hole. I am bringing a berserker. We're going to try it at least one time. Berserker, and I'm bringing that same bag. No, I'm bringing bag number 5. I want as much raw power as I can, and then I want as much curl. I may need as much curl as I can get. Hole number 9. This may ruin my round. I doubt it, because I think that even if I end up in trouble, I'll always be forward to the spot where I can always recover with my Nirvana and Spitfire. But I am going for it every single time on this hole. I know the smart move is to lay. You can literally lay it up and you don't even have to go for the island. And then just have a straight up run up shot to the cup. And with the new pin placement down there where it's at, it's actually, before it was kind of hidden. It was hard to get to. But now it's a little bit easier. Okay, you can get to that spot. I can. Now it's all about getting my trajectory down that course right. So like if I put on max curl and I was on that trajectory right there, I need to be like out here. I need to be like white ring off on the left. Then the wind's going to push me forward, straight forward. I'm going to go right there. Oh, and I caught it 2 rings straight to the right. I'll hit the island, but I'll end up in the sand over here on the other side. It'll roll down and end me up in the sand. You can see if I can get my trajectory right. Shit, I'm halfway between there and the cup if I can get my trajectory right, because it's all downhill. And so if you're rolling that fast down that trajectory, that hill, you're going to end up like in this area down here, like literally a short chip off the green. But if you don't make it, I think in a worst case scenario, you'd wreck right here. And in a best case scenario, you'd wreck where I wrecked. But either one of those areas you can recover from. No big deal. No fuss, no muss. Like you'd have to be trying not to recover to not recover. But if you're in the back quadrant back here and you fuck up where my opponent's at, like in this area, you are in big ass trouble. And I don't know whether the shot on the inside will work. It depends on how they lined it up, just barely. And that's a good trajectory. They're going to run right in the sand like me. You didn't have as much curl whipping him around the corner. Where I really wanted to get, because we know we can recover from there, but like literally, I think, like you can see where I'm at. Like if I was running down the fairway, like literally you're out into this area right here. And I mean, that's the catbird seat. Let's go see what I'm fighting for. Let's go see if this is worth the shake. Looks like it's definitely downhill. But that's got to be wedge. That's got to be max wedge. Yeah, you could be a max wedge or short iron. It's a low percentage drive, but it's definitely, you definitely increase your odds of making it. What sucks is you go through all that trouble to do it, and the very last thing you do is release on that shot going to the cup, and you don't hit that perfect. You got into the right spot, you did all the stuff, you made all the right adjustments, and then you don't hit perfect. The Malibu. Let's see if the Malibu's got some action. Hit it perfect. Perfect. Get in the hole. Get in the hole. There you have it. Nice. Now here's the deal. I got to go for this, even though we're on. I got to go for it. Then I'll forfeit. Where am I? I'm in my rapier. There's max. I'm in max club. There's mid. Do I have enough topspin to get me there? Almost. Kind of like in between mid and max. Mid's 2.4 per ring. It's 1.8. I'm going to do 1.8. 4 divided by 1.8. It's 2.5 rings. $2.5. Isn't it perfect? In the hole. In the hole. I probably fucking qualified today. On that shitty round. Perfect. Primo. And that was with 10%. So if you do end up out in that area, I added on 10%. And I just, why it took me so long there is because here's mid, and I play mid with that club at 2.4, and here's max, I play it at 1.2. And I usually, what I do is, like, if I'm at mid, I'll run the topspin out, and that tells me I'm at mid. But where the cup was at, I was still a little bit of distance away. I was kind of like in the 3/4, so I was doing the math in my head, and 24 plus 12 equals 36 divided by 2 equals 18. So I did 1.8 instead of where I was normally at. I used the slider. There we go. And I probably ended up screwing myself in qualifying. Look at that. I'm fucked now. That's so screwed up. And that is so screwed up. I did pick up some shots in there. 2 or 3 shots in there I picked up. 2 shots? Two. Dropped one. So I did pick up 2 shots, but I tanked hole number, I don't think I got the hole number 1 either time. Hole number 1 or hole number 6, and dropped hole number 4. Lots of opportunities. I screwed myself right there. Damn it, tail. Well, maybe. No, I screwed myself. I did not mean to qualify today, so I guess we're just going with a weak. I guess we'll just give everybody. I suppose, based off of the comments and stuff, I gave everybody. I spotted everybody some shots in the qualifying in the qualifier. Damn it! Thanks for watching. Have a great one. If you're not a subscriber, hit subscribe. Hit the like button. Ring the bell. Leave comments. Got any questions? Leave a comment. I do read the comments. I do read them. I don't necessarily always respond to comments, but I do read them. I did actually do a show where I just go through and we talk about comments and I respond to them and say what's on my mind or what my thinking is on that or why I do that. I am at the point. I am at the point where I am ready to like. So what was happening was when the club car training came out, I took some time off, and I worked. I was gone for a bit working, and there was a little bit of time where I was off, and I took like 6 months off and didn't play tournaments because I was just getting burned the fuck out. And then I took an assignment last year for like 45 days and was like gone for like 2 months. And I couldn't do anything for that 2 months. So I wasn't playing, and I only had like, like a couple months worth of club cards left, and I was going to run out. So I was saving them up. I had a dump card, my razor, and I was just dumping cards in there. So anytime Epic came up where I had two Epics and I didn't get, neither one of them was one I was working on, I saved those cards for later because I was going to run out. But I started playing again, and now I have enough. So I have enough in this and in my odd. So I think in my odd account, I'm going to keep the bank for a while because I'm still trying to build it up. But in here, I have enough now that I can afford to cap out the razor, max out my razor, and then just get the 3 epics per day. And I'm working on quite a few epics because I'm working on all the level, anything that I have at the level 7, I'm trying to get it to level 8 to get it out of the queue. And I have like 3 or 4 level 7s that are like halfway, I think. Do I have 3 or 4 that are halfway? My big topper is like almost there. Horizon's almost halfway. Grim Reaper's a quarter. And I'm not going to work on my Kingfisher. I'm not going to raise it up if I get enough. When I get enough to raise it to level 8, I'm not going to raise it up to level 8. I like it right where it's at. I'm perfectly happy with where it's at right now. It does get a little bit more, but I am not going to do it. So I do have some that are at level 7 that I can really start. It seemed like there was one other card in my Castaway at 290. So I can start eliminating some of the epics and get down to where I may get the ones I'm really looking for more often. Thin the pool, if you will. All right, thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.